Countdown Conspiracy, Chapter 2, Part 2. Air Force One is high-tech, plush, and everything I dreamed it'd be, but it's also kind of lonely. There's no one really to talk to. I managed to chat a little with President Nelson earlier, but then she disappeared to take a conference call with China. I glanced at my droidlet. That was over 4 hours ago. Long conference call. Just when I feel my eyes about to close and sleep threatening to take over, Mary and Michael enter the main cabin, talking loudly with a man I've never met before. "Miranda, this is Jason Urwich, Secretary of State," Mary says, gesturing to the tall man. I quickly stand up, shifting my weight to balance as we hit a touch of turbulence. "Nice to meet you, sir." "Pleasure's all mine, Miss Regent." He takes a seat and gestures for me to do the same. "I want to take this opportunity to talk to you away from the prying eyes of the press. We're in a delicate situation, as you well know. You were chosen as a cadet over the Russian candidate, Sasha Oskev." I nod, trying to make any squeaking noises as I sit back in my leather chair. I don't know what the ISECG was thinking, selecting candidates so similar to each other from our two nations, but they have told us repeatedly that they are less concerned with international politics and more with finding the best team for the job. He shakes his head. "At least they had the good sense to set up your training facilities in neutral Antarctic territory. They're not completely clueless." I'm not sure if I'm meant to agree with him or not, but I'm not prepared to badmouth the ISECG, so I keep quiet. "Regardless, what's done is done." Mr. Urwich searches my face, pausing for a moment before continuing. "This is a time of peace, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily peaceful. Please, whatever you do, always talk with Mary and Michael here before making any sort of public statement. And make sure to tell me straight away if you ever feel threatened in any way whatsoever." "Yes, sir," I say. "Actually, about that." I fiddle with the screen of my droidlet, opening my World Window account. Hiding my mystery message from my parents is one thing, but hiding it from the Secretary of State feels like another. I did sort of have this weird note pop up after I just won. Mr. Urwich's brows furrow, and he takes my droidlet from my wrist. Then he snaps his fingers and one of the suited security men steps forward. "Let's get this analyzed, Parker," he says. "Don't worry, Miss Regent. This is probably just an alarmist attention seeker, but we'll look into it and make sure." His tone is reassuring, but I suddenly feel way less certain than I was before about the troll status of the messenger. I'm grateful when Mr. Urwich finally heads back into a different part of the plane with my PR team. I'm left alone for the rest of the flight, except when a security person returns to give me my droidlet and inform me that I will no longer have access to my World Window account. He explains that the CIA will monitor it on my behalf to track any more threats made on it. Wait, so I can't, but before he's gone again, before I can finish my protest. I frown, twirling Ruby's flashcard. "Okay then, no World Window, I guess." After that, it's not too much longer before we touch down on the Falkland Islands, and I've talked myself into the lack of World Window being a good thing, so I won't be distracted during astronaut training. President Nelson emerges to join me in the main cabin once the plane comes to a full stop. "Ready?" the president asks, straightening her blazer. "Yeah." I pick up Ruby's box from the seat next to mine and make a face. "There's going to be more media, isn't there?" "Almost certainly," she smiles sympathetically. "It's never fun, but you'll get used to it." I nod. There are a few things I'm learning I'm just gonna have to get used to. Security comes back with the all clear, and we're allowed to exit. It's cloudy outside, casting the island in an odd gray light, which its rocky nature only adds to. Stepping down the airplane stairs, I wave and smile at the crowd that, sure enough, has gathered to greet us and take a deep, calming breath. The air is different here, It smells saltier, which I know makes no sense because sodium chloride is odorless. But still. Hola, Miranda! I stop at the bottom of the stairs with my security guards. The shout came from a small group of people, separate from the much larger mass that wraps around the landing strip. I peer into the group to see one boy in particular jumping and waving. It's Esteban Castillo, and he's being escorted over with his own entourage of suited men. Cameras close in around us, documenting what I'm certain the reporters are describing as a momentous meeting. Hello, Esteban. I reach forward to shake his hand. Isn't this exciting? Without warning, Esteban takes my hand and yanks me in for a hug. It's like we're family already. My eyes fly open, and I can hear President Nelson laugh behind me as I'm pressed into an embrace with my fellow Mars cadet. Ruby's box gets squashed between us. Yeah, I say. Esteban finally releases me, his face one huge grin. Welcome to South America. I would show you around, but I'm not from the Falkland Islands, so I wouldn't know what to show off. Esteban rambles. His accent is noticeable, but it doesn't stop me from understanding what he's saying. Now, if we were in Peru, I could show you all kinds of things, though I'd be useless once again when we reach Antarctica. He laughs, and I can't help but laugh a little with him. Whether it's because what he said was actually funny, or I'm just that nervous, I'm not sure. But my laughter makes him beam even brighter. I like you, Miranda. He slaps me on the shoulder. We're going to be good friends. I can already tell. Now for the pictures, he exclaims, spinning us towards the crowd. Say cheese. To my horror, I actually do. Esteban is a bundle of energy I can't hope to keep up with, but he drags me along anyway. President Nelson waves at me as we get separated. Oh, have you met Mr. Burnett yet? He's American too. Look, there he is. Before I know it, I'm being steered in a new direction across the tarmac. Cameras and security agents continue to follow our every move. Miranda, this is Mr. Burnett, Esteban tells me, motioning to the man in front of us. He's with the ISECG and is going to be our teacher. Sort of, Mr. Burnett gives me a friendly nod. I'm actually a grad student of Dr. Schuber's. I do programming. It's nice to meet you, I say. His messy hair makes him look younger than he actually is. He could almost pass for one of the high schoolers. And it's great to meet you, he replies, shaking my hand. I feel like I already know you, thanks to all your interviews. Sounds like the other professors and cadets will be catching a different boat from South Africa, so we'll have plenty of time to officially chat on our boat to the training base. Which is where we get to go next, Esteban says, gesturing to the left. I peer at the ocean in the distance. Best day ever. Am I right? I managed to escape Esteban's boundless enthusiasm after we'd left the harbor. He got distracted by our new tablet scrolls that we were given upon boarding. Amazing! Full 3D definition, 14.2 terabyte hard drive, multi-core processors. Miranda, the software, they already have HID and Star loaded. Inside my cabin, I unroll my tablet scroll and fold the stand off the back. The material locks in place, allowing the screen to sit upright on its own. As I slide the arrow across the lower horizontal section, a keyboard unravels out from the bottom edge, flattening before me. Its buttons rise up and it settles, the memory material lighting up around each letter and number. Okay, so maybe Esteban was right to geek out. A knock sounds on my door. Miranda? I hear Esteban call from the other side. Come in, I say, setting my tablet down. I was going to call home to see some familiar faces for at least a moment, but I suppose that can wait. The metal ship door swings open and Esteban walks in holding his tablet at his side. It's in 2D mode and open to some website. I thought you should see this. His voice lacks its earlier brightness as he holds up his tablet and I read what's on it. Rahim Mahmoud attacked en route to Mars training base. There's a picture of the smoking remains of a car under the words, and next to that a picture of Rahim being hoisted away by several medics. He doesn't look severely hurt, but I read on just to make sure. But Why? I finally managed to ask, unable to take my eyes off the images. I don't know, Esteban answers. This was hours ago. Why didn't anyone tell us? Another good question, I reply, my mind racing. Maybe they don't know. He looks at me. Maybe. I shake my head, rejecting my own hypothesis. No, that's just stupid. They have to know. Maybe they just didn't want to scare us. Before I can finish my thought, my words are cut off by a huge boom. The ship jolts to one side so quickly that Esteban and I tumble straight into the wall, lose our footing, and collapse on the ground just in time for the ship to rock back the other way again, sliding us across the floor. My ears ringing from the noise, but above the ringing I hear screams. 3 words stand out amid the rest. We're under attack!